If the mighty energy of the sun were poured forth, reaching the earth unchecked, destruction would be inevitable. The sun is the positive polarity of this system, and it is a center of energy constantly radiating throughout space, carrying particles of matter on its radiation. Astronomical theories lead us to believe that there is no air on the moon. However, the internal pressure of a heavenly body and the external pressure strike a perfect balance, else a moon or planet would disintegrate. The outer pressure is none other than the atmosphere surrounding the form in its movement through space. Our moon, being small, has a lighter atmosphere than the earth, but not too light for people of other planets to live there. Government officials and scientists are sure the moon has a life-supporting atmosphere, else they would not hope to reach it. It is said the first nation to land there and fly its flag will rule the earth. If we are wise, we will attempt to reach the moon with peace and friendliness in our hearts, for it is the domain of a happy, peace-loving people, and we will not be permitted to upset it. There is a vast center or hub of this cosmos around which all galaxies and solar systems move, and through this hub pours the radiating power and energy that quickens and makes alive this cosmos. Solar systems are only atoms in the cosmos, in the great cosmic body, in which dwells the divine consciousness or God as an incarnation. A world is only a part of an atom. A man is only an infinitesimally tiny atom in the great reaches of infinity. Man himself is made up of tiny atoms in which functions a unit of the divine consciousness. All are one in the great cosmic scheme of things. There is a blissful, grand overture of celestial music, of vibrational energy, created by the first and foremost musician, flowing through all creation, finite and infinite. The organized and beautiful all of reality, the cosmos, with its many, many singing instruments, can be likened unto one divine symphony orchestra, each instrument with its own key of tonal vibration, and the whole orchestra rendering its particular overall tone frequency of vibratory impulses charged with cosmic rhythm. In other words, out there in that starry deep, so seemingly but distant, emptiness and silence, every galaxy, solar system, nebula, sun, and planet hums through infinite space under the direction of the divine musician, the supreme intelligence. Though there are those instruments slightly off-key, striking discordance in the whole, each one is being tuned to its proper keynote through the great musician, that the whole may blend in a balanced, harmonious rendition of celestial music, a grand finale of ordered movement and balance. That glorious heavenly state descends to earth, and the beauty of peace becomes a reality for mankind. The very highest octave of divine love is resounding upon the earth. Let your life become a high note of rhythmic harmony, and come to know the beauty of harmony's song. Man must quicken and grow in inner attunement with the divine musician's symphonic theme, eternal oneness with the Creator. As for the more serious matters at hand, I am sure there are those among our scientists sincerely and tirelessly working to aid mankind, who seriously realize something is of the distressing affairs of earth that confront man, threatening his very existence. But much information must at present be withheld because of man's incredulity and the public's reaction. Most of us have either heard about, read about, or discussed the subject of fluoridation. It has been circulated that there is high-pressure propaganda for fluoridation, by which cities are being fast talked into unwittingly poisoning their drinking water through use of artificial fluoride, the result of which, it is stated, is semi-paralysis or softening of the brain. But the so-called rat poison pushers cannot outdo Mother Nature. It would be good common sense to set aside their ruthless fluoridation campaign and attempt to contrive some means to purify poisonous water on a huge scale. The fluoridation conspirators may be able to easily avoid or neutralize their own rat poison, but not so simply Mother Nature's. One of nature's unpleasant changes that our brothers divulged to me, and which men must contend with, is slowly poisoning our fresh water supply. It is a threat to our future safety, for in 12 to 15 years we can be without precious fresh water if our chemists do not discover some way to purify poisonous water or to prevent further contamination. Climatic changes have been altering the chemical components of the once harmless fluid in the thick-skinned pods of the sargasso seaweed-like plant. Until now, it is a deadly poison. The Sargasso Sea is a gigantic area of tropical seaweed floating endlessly about the ocean currents of the Atlantic Ocean. Terrific change in temperature from cold currents filtering down from fast-melting icebergs and glaciers in the Arctic have produced a chemical reaction. This reaction is stimulated by the salt in the ocean water suddenly turning cold. Freezing water makes the pods brittle. Compressed air inside bursts them open, releasing the poison fluid into the waters. Poison water is slowly seeping into freshwater lakes and underground reservoirs. We cannot count on the ocean absorbing or diluting this poison to the extent that the earth's water supply will be safe for consumption by man, fowl, or beast. Chapter 11. Aboard the Ship. For several weeks I felt the presence of someone watching me, and sometimes this feeling disturbed me to no end. I also felt that whoever it could be, they were prevented or not permitted to contact me. Then one night as I was turning out the lights, I was drawn to look out the window. The porch light was burning brightly, flooding the lawn, where stood two small figures, leaning a little forward as if trying to peer in the window. Judging their height by a nearby post, they were not more than 4 feet 3 inches tall. They were garbed in brown suits that seemed to be in one piece, and wore some sort of brown hat or cap upon their heads. They reminded me of the legendary brownies. From the light shining on their faces, they were not the ugly little monsters so many flying saucer reports have maintained. I opened the door and stepped out onto the porch, inquiring, "Can I help you in any way, my friends?" Their only response was to turn and run. At an ensuing contact with our brothers and sisters, I mentioned this experience, and was merely told, "Yet we know about it. They are good people." It was on this visit that the brother of Jupiter was wearing a smartly tailored American suit of a beige shade. It was evident he was not accustomed to it and was quite uncomfortable. I asked him, "You are not used to it?" and he admitted, "No, it does not feel well." The two sisters were wearing skirts and blouses, one dressed in bright pink and salmon pink shades, the other yellow-green and blue-green shades, both with matching pumps, the color values blending beautifully. The three of them indulged a few moments in jesting, bubbling over with zest, apparently entertaining me as I listened amusedly. I was impressed that they wished me to know that they are not always a serious people, but indulge in playful raillery and infectious mirth, which as much as we do on earth. Let us go back for a moment to my early mental telepathy contact. I was given the following information. There are some who believe that by trying to raise their vibrations as a group to a given pitch, we would come in for a contact. Your people must understand it will do little good to send through vibrations to bring us. They will have to be taught far more than they know how now. Do not try to contact us. We will contact you when the time is right. There is no magnetic power on your planet that can draw our craft in for a landing without our control.